What is up, geeks and gamers? It's your boy Q
and QMG.
bringing you guys into the Quniverse, where we talk to you guys about everything geeky, gamey, and nerdy. And we are back. We doing it better than ever before. We have a new setup. We have new things going on this year. 2021 has been really good to us, and we finna turn all the way up. And that's facts. So let's just bump out for a minute. No, we got to turn up. QMG, you doing all right today? Doing good. Got into the Quniverse, got some great things to talk about. We finna turn on up. Thank you, geeks and gamers, for tuning in. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna be talking about some Invincible, some Mortal Kombat, some Falcon and Winter Soldier, some Loki. We got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. QMG, how's your day today? You doing good, bro?
Yep.
Yes, but I guess we could go ahead and start off with one of the very important things. The end of Falcon and Winter Soldier was this week, this Friday. The finale came. QMG, how did you personally feel about the finale of Falcon and Winter Soldier? Just to go ahead and get right on into it, straight like that.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was a perfect cap off to the series and the characters. I liked how it absolutely set Sam up to be Captain America. You know, they didn't pussyfoot around it or wait until a movie. They just absolutely had him be Captain America, and it was awesome to see. I liked how they basically, didn't make it ambiguous to if he was gonna keep it a secret or not. He just went straight up and faced it out in the public and everything. The stunts were cool. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
Facts, definitely. I definitely enjoyed it as well myself. I thought it was really done well. Falcon, I was pretty hard on him at first. I was definitely hard on Falcon at first, and he has really came and showed me more to him. Thanks, D man. Appreciate it for the hard. We're gonna keep up the hard work, bro. Talk to us about Falcon and Winter Soldier, bro. We definitely want to hear your opinion on it. But yeah, definitely, it was really amazing. The show was awesome. I definitely was very, very happy with the ending. We saw a turn for the first time of an MCU character. We saw a turn.
Spoilers. Just we gotta say spoiler alert too. Bro.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert for everyone who hasn't seen the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 6 or the whole series. Turn away now, because we're definitely going to be talking about a lot of spoilers because it's over now. So we're moving on to Loki. But at the end, Falcon got his Captain America outfit and became Captain America, and we saw a change. For the first time ever, an MCU character became evil, and that was Sharon Carter has chose to become the power broker fully and not take her pardon to go back to America.
She did take her pardon.
Yeah, she took her pardon, but only to use it for evil gains. So QMG was, now that we have, and usually you like to be a bipartisan, you like to kind of say both of them were great in their own way, but I'm more of a definitive like one than the other. Did you prefer WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier? Or
you really can't compare them because they're two completely different stories being told. If you're talking about like just straight up, I think both of them were great shows that did what they set out to. I prefer I'm not going to say one is definitively better than the other, but I will say I preferred Falcon and Winter Soldier a little bit more than WandaVision, because a lot of like I said previously, WandaVision stuff kind of its hype for what it could be doing kind of lended itself to the viewing experience. But once you rewatch it, and you realize it's not going in a direction you thought it was, it takes a little bit of the enthusiasm out of it. Whereas, if you were to go back and rewatch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you wouldn't get that. It'd be exactly what you expect and want, and just stay that way, as opposed to going back, oh, I thought this was going to happen, and that kind of buzzkill. I feel like this was the best MCU product put out in the last 6 years. It always seems like the Captain America content seems to be the strongest because it's more resonated. It's more resonated to some of the real world aspects of it. And this, this show definitely didn't lack in that department.
Yeah.
So I definitely enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the themes and the messages. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, they did the damn thing.
Definitely.
And yeah, Daniel Bruhl is Zemo. He was dope
Sleeper
as well.
That was my sleeper
And,
character.
Emily's Carly Morgenthau was a compelling villain and whatnot. John Walker, another compelling antagonist as well. So yeah, I feel like, and I know some people out there don't agree, but I personally feel like this was an extraordinarily strong effort from Marvel, and I definitely can't wait to see what they do next with these characters, because they said that they're developing a fourth Captain America movie.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir. Yes,
that's
sir.
awesome.
Yes, I'm very excited. I definitely liked WandaVision very much, but I couldn't deny that I definitely liked Falcon and Winter Soldier more. It was almost hands down a better version to me. I can't see a better to duo right now in the MCU besides Tony Stark and Iron Man. Falcon and Winter Soldier have done a great job. I'm surprised to see that I liked it this much, knowing that I didn't really think that Anthony Mackie could do a good job as Captain America. But he proved me wrong. And if he can prove me wrong, I'm really ready to see where the MCU goes from here. I'm really ready to see where they go. It seems to me that they're doing a lot more than what they've normally been doing. They've actually put a lot more emphasis on these characters than what I thought they were going to do, as far as them being like not shying away from African American stuff, not shying away from things of that nature like I thought they would have. But with that being said, what do you give it in full out of a 10? What do you give Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I say I give it a,
and yes, I'm going to keep calling him Captain Falcon.
I give it a 9 out of 10. It definitely is, I wish it probably wasn't 6 episodes, but I don't know if that's a legitimate feel of a way I legitimately feel so far.
Yeah.
So right now, I think that, I can say 9 out of 10. It did what it had to do. And I really, really appreciated it.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. I definitely can give it. I would like to give it a 10. It was very action packed. I really enjoyed the story. There was nothing extra that they needed to give to me that would make it even better unless Steve came back. But speaking of the elephant in the room, for everybody that's tuning in, appreciate everybody that's tuning in on all the Facebook channels and as well as YouTube. If y'all want to like, comment, go ahead and talk to us. Let us know how y'all feeling. We can go ahead and talk about some of the topics y'all got going on. Next week, we'll definitely be having the call-in, so y'all can call in and actually have your input heard over the Quniverse. But yeah, we definitely, I'm giving it a 10. It was nothing that more they could have done. But John Walker, John Walker is the character that's the elephant in the room. To me, he redeemed himself. And how do you personally feel about John Walker?
He did not. He just did the right thing at the end, but he didn't redeem himself of anything. At the end of the day, he's still a stooge fighting for the wrong reasons, trying to be something he's not. And until he realizes that for himself, which is he probably won't, it's that simple. It's that simple. That's what that is.
Bruh. But he made his shield. And he tried to save those people. Then he said that a strict justice is more than a swift one, saying that he wasn't going to kill people just to do it anymore. He did show the characteristics of a Cap. Just because he made a mistake doesn't necessarily mean
that's not a characteristic of a Captain America.
Yes, it is. Him choosing do the right thing.
No, that's again
over what he thought was to be justice. That is
that's a one instance. That's not an indication that he's going to do that. That's a one instance of him doing that. That don't mean a damn thing. He literally had no choice but to at that point, because the world was watching him, and even then it didn't rain on him to stop it. It relied on Sam to stop it, because it showed that even though he made that decision then and there to fix his mistake, he still has a lot more to do than that. He still has a lot more to work on.
But just because someone has some stuff to work on doesn't mean.
Yes, it does.
That means they're trash?
Yeah, because until you fix that, you're still going to be trash. All you're doing is
that
working
makes
on
no sense. So every hero in the Marvel universe you like is perfect.
No.
Okay, then. So what are you talking about?
Because you just completely mischaracterized that entirely. You don't have to be perfect to be a hero, but you do have to understand that when you make a mistake, and to the degrees that John made, you can't save a couple of people and work with the Winter Soldier and Captain America and think you're a hero now. And especially when you turn around and you basically fall in with the first soldier person and you don't even know what the hell they're going to have you doing. You just fell right back in to the same situation, only this time you're not calling yourself Captain America and you don't have the shield. That man still is liable to make the same mistakes he made previous. Only this time he can't use Lamar as impetus for trying to get redemption, because that's what he did. He wasn't honest with Lamar's family. He didn't tell.
That was before he made the change.
No, he didn't make a change though. He made a decision to try to save people because he figured that revenge wasn't as important at that moment. But it took him getting his ass beat and then his shield getting broke for him to come to that decision. That's not something he, was immediately thought of. It's nice that he did that at the end, but at the end of the day, there ain't enough evidence for me to say he was redeemed or anything. He just did the right thing at the right moment, and that's about it.
First, he's not. I don't think he's bogus for two reasons. Obviously, we're going off of majority of people were going off of the fact that he was not Steve Rogers, because he rushed in on Carly Morgenthau. I wouldn't call that a flaw of care as much as a mistake someone made. Now, the killing somebody for one, it was a flag smasher. Everybody was fighting, and one of his people were killed, and he chose to make that decision. It was a headstrong decision. It was a headstrong decision, and it was done. And he did something wrong. What's done is done. Does that make him a horrible person? No.
But see, now you're adding hyperbole to what's being said though.
What's being said? No one said he's a horrible person at one time.
But you just said that people were calling him a horrible person. But
everybody in the world was calling him trash and garbage.
There's a difference between being trash and a horrible person within the context of the show. This man is not fit to be a superhero. That's just what it is.
Sound good when he ended up being a hero at the end.
No, he wasn't.
So Winter Soldier, he's capable of being a hero.
He was brainwashed. None of the decisions he made as the Winter Soldier was his own thoughts, and nothing he did as the Winter Soldier was anything Bucky Barnes was capable of doing when he was in his correct mind.
And on top of that, he has had tours, he has had medals, he has saved people.
No, so if you remember the monologue before,
he said what they did over there, he wouldn't call that saving lives, but he still did.
No, you missed the entire point of that conversation.
Supposedly,
no, you missed the entire point of the conversation. What he was saying was, comparing to what they were in the 40s and whatnot compared to Afghanistan, and this goes to actual history and recounts from actual soldiers, they weren't doing just simple saving people from POW. They were doing things where innocent families may have been killed because they thought they were somebody that they weren't.
Obviously, everybody knows that.
But so my point, so that doesn't make him a hero because he got the medals. Because
so what makes him not a hero?
Because what makes him not a hero is the fact that he was so quick to.
I don't want to hear that's crap.
How you going to ask me and then
you going to say just because he made one quick decision?
No, it wasn't the one quick decision.
So Iron Man's not a hero.
No, I've always said that Iron Man was not a hero.
God, here we go.
No, what you're trying to do is you're trying to pat him on the back because he has a costume on and he saved some lives. And that's not how that works. That's never how that works. You can't just do that because then any asshole can take advantage of that. And just,
so Doctor Strange is a hero?
What you mean Doctor Strange is a hero?
Is he?
Why? How is that comparable to John Walker?
I'm just asking because I obviously don't understand what you qualify as a hero.
What I'm qualifying as a hero is it's not no one little stint where you go ahead and save a couple of lives, irregardless of when he was busting up them folks' heads. You forgot when they was looking for Carly and he was whooping old dude ass, and he wasn't a part of the Flag Smashers.
He was helping them folks.
That's not. Oh, so a police officer whooping nigga ass in
he's Captain America.
That's worse because Captain America wouldn't and shouldn't do that. That's the whole point. There's a standard to that uniform in that name. There are things that you don't do when you're that type of person.
And actually, he didn't whoop on him. He grabbed him by the collar. He didn't beat him. He didn't beat him at all. He didn't punch him. He didn't kick him. That man jerked him and he yoked him up. And he spit in his face. Actually, he spit in his face first. Then he yoked him up, sir. So if we want to be 100% correct, he didn't put his hands. He didn't beat him. He didn't kick him. He didn't punch him. You talking about kicking his ass? He did not do that.
He spit
in his face.
If Lamar didn't say nothing to the man,
see, now you're talking about hypotheticals because that's not.
No, it's not a hypothetical. That was a reality. If Lamar didn't step in front of him, John Walker would have absolutely kicked his ass in front of them because that's what a modern military.
Well, we're gonna see him again because he's the U.S.
and he's going to
be gangster.
No, he's not. What I don't get folks' metrics nowadays on what constitutes being a hero because you catch them doing one good thing and now it's
and you caught them doing one bad thing. And
no, it's not one. It's not one bad thing. The fact that he escalated the situation and Sam was literally diffusing with this young woman and then got his boy killed.
So you escalate a situation because you think you can handle it better than somebody that makes you a villain? Like, come on, bro. Nah, bro.
What you mean?
No, bro.
He literally not only did he escalate, he didn't just simply do an escalation and then just leave it at that. He literally pursued it at that point to the point where he took the super soldier serum, not knowing none of the sound, not knowing none of the side effects or anything like that. Led to an international incident because clearly him killing that Flag Smasher was not what the United States wanted. If that was the case, he would have still kept being Captain America. You keep saying, "Oh, well, he killed the Flag Smasher." That was obviously not something that they wanted to do, and clearly was willing to disavow him for doing. If that was such a good thing, so if you want to try to defend that, then just look in the universe, and they'll tell you that was not a good thing. That was not something.
Who said it was good? All I'm saying is because of one flaw doesn't give the world the right to say, "Oh, he's trash." Well, for one, they said he was trash just because he wasn't Chris Evans. That's where it all stems from.
No, now you're combining. We're not talking about the actor's perception. I'm talking about within the context of the show. I don't care. Everybody's going to say that about any replacement. That's irrelevant. But in the context of the show, there was nothing about John Walker's character that said he was a hero, even from the beginning when we first introduced
and that's him. The whole point, because at the end he chose to be a hero.
He did not choose to be a hero.
It was literally a choice. He chose to do
the right thing.
And those are the people who stripped him of his title.
That was him choosing to do the right thing.
Exactly.
That doesn't make you a hero.
Yes, it do.
No, it doesn't.
In that instant, yes, it did. Because he could have chose to go after Carly, and he didn't. That was the whole point. They did it in the show.
If a cannibal stops himself from eating somebody because he sees somebody finna get ran over and he decides to push them out of the way, that don't make the cannibal a hero. They just mean the cannibal did the right thing.
So they put it in there to just say, "Oh, he did one good thing."
Yes.
They
did.
They put it in there to show that he still had redeemable.
Guess what? He still went ahead and was like, I'm going to be the U.S. agent behind the scenes of the government.
Exactly, but he's going to be doing it for the right thing.
How do you first of all, you keep saying that, and it's very clear that they're setting up that whole engagement to be not the right thing.
It sounds good.
Yes, that's the whole reason why she did it behind the scenes, why she did not use that. Why she didn't use that to get his status as an officer reinstated like Sharon did, because you would think if he risked his life to save the
senators. So when Captain America was off the radar, was he still a good guy? When he was off the radar, not working for SHIELD or the government, was he still a good guy?
Well, let's consider that.
Was he still?
Let's consider what happened before you just throw that blanket statement out there.
No, you said it.
No, you're saying that. You're just saying that
because he's off the radar. You said because they didn't reinstate his stuff that he was bad.
Because in all honesty, there was no reason for him to even be put on, and it was Captain America to be on the run. That was just Tony Stark's pettiness that he didn't.
But he was still on the run.
But that's not the point, though.
He didn't go again. He went against the law.
No,
Yes, he did. He didn't want to sign the Sokovia Accord.
First of all,
went against the law.
First of all, again, he said he was going to be willing to sign the accords, and we can surmise once it was realized that there was being somebody manipulating the Winter Soldier behind the scenes, and that whole fight didn't happen. We can surmise that Captain America and Bucky could sit there and sign them papers, which is not any way, shape, or form close to being something that was being illegal. Because moving forward in the timeline,
something that is illegal. Breaking people out of jail is illegal. Didn't Captain America break them folks out of jail? I could have sworn he broke them out of jail. Whether or not it was for a good reason, that's still illegal. Am I correct?
You're comparing murder.
Is it? So now we're judging what crime is more than less.
And to be quite honest, and to be quite honest with you, most of those imprisonments in the raft can be considered unconstitutional and unlawful because there was no trial or anything.
So just because somebody commits a crime against another crime, so because Carly and them was terrorists and John killed them, does that make it right? Because it was a crime, another crime committed against the person that's doing the crime is okay?
Again, within the context of what happened, yes, it was the wrong thing, or else John would not have been tried and restricted.
No, he was only tried because he got caught by the millions and millions of people in another country.
That's how crimes work, Quentin. When you're caught,
so Cap didn't get caught, but he still committed a crime.
But again, he clearly gave up his rank before he even did all of that.
But
stuff.
He still committed a crime,
because up until that point, he was Iron Man, who was working with the law, was working with him before Zemo revealed what happened to Tony's family. So you can make the argument that Tony was abating an outlaw and a known fugitive to the law, and therefore he was a criminal, and therefore his criminal action, he was therefore absolved of his rank because he was still making sure Bucky and Steve weren't immediately arrested when he knew exactly where he was. Furthermore, you can say that when he went and talked to Sam to get information in the first place to know where Cap and Bucky were going, that was getting in that was soliciting information from a fugitive, and more than likely he was going to release them had nothing with sideways.
Crime.
But I'm saying though, if you're trying to pinpoint these crimes,
you the one that said that he committed a crime, and then when he tried to redeem himself, it doesn't matter. But Captain America committed crimes too because he thought he was doing what was right.
No, it wasn't even thought he was doing the right thing. There's a difference between the two. If you really want to get into it,
you could really just justify anything that anybody do by saying that.
You can't. Zemo had access to brainwashed assassins and was ready, willing, and able.
Because they blew up his home and didn't even go say to the memorial and say
no, sorry. That's real. Again, you are underselling it. That's not. That's your underselling.
Anyway, but I'm a fan of John Walker. I'll be the first to say it. I think he has redeemable qualities. If he seems to turn it around or change in the future, I'll be the first to admit that I didn't like. I said this, but I think people gave him a bad rap because of the internet and the first initial introduction to him. I think that was purposely done, but I didn't think that the final product was what people thought it would be. And I think he has some redeemable qualities as the U.S. agent.
John Walker is no more than one of these police officers who shoot.
Oh, see, there you go.
It is. That's the show basically framed it as that. No, like I don't know what else to fucking tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. The show literally framed it in such a way to elicit that response in the first place. So I'm saying, like you saying that like it's not where they were going with it. John Walker is no different than these police officers who shoot unarmed men and women and children of a multitude of races.
Dude, that is wild.
And then when they get caught, they get slapped on the wrist. And then if they get caught doing one good thing, folks go, yeah, he can redeem himself. It was just an accident. You know, that's just by the simple fact that he couldn't even keep it real with Lamar's family and say he was killed by the leader of this terrorist organization. That would have got the same result. Tells me that for all his, blustering and whatnot, he still is not going to do it for the right reasons. That's just that. And yeah, he went ahead and he tried to save those people or whatever. And yeah, he took it, Bucky and Sam's leave.
Exactly, bro. D-Man, exactly, bro. Let me bring that up for the geeks and gamers out there. Yeah, that was too far.
No, it was not. And y'all both talking out, y'all. Y'all both.
That's he's not a police officer. One of these police officers.
He literally did that though. He literally killed somebody who had nothing to do with what happened.
He definitely had something to do with it. See, there you go downplaying what happened. He definitely had something to do with what happened. He was a flag smasher. You talking like he was just a random nigga on the street.
Again, if that was the case, then John Walker would not have gotten stripped of his rank and whatnot.
So if he killed, if it was Carly, he killed in the street, he wouldn't have got stripped.
No, because that's the leader of the terrorist organization.
The reason he got stripped is because he did it out in the open.
No, it's not. That's not because they're not going to. Why would they make a big spectacle out of that and not on the low keep him captain? Let's be honest with this. This is the American government in a superhero sci-fi show. They're not finna publicly strip this man for something that they deemed correct and not secretly keep him
Carly,
that way.
just because Carly was the leader means that she can get killed by people and not the other people that's following her.
Government
in there fighting with her.
Government would have absolutely said the government would have absolutely publicly slapped him on the wrist, but kept him as Captain America. Compared to that, like. I don't.
So, like you were,
I don't know why. I don't like. What do you're really saying that you're really, in all honesty, now, if this was a real life situation, right, and there is a major terrorist head, a major terrorist leader, right, and a soldier go into the combat zone, and it's like, oh, we're going to confirm, we need to capture him, and he go about and killing him. Yeah, folks will be like, oh man, damn it, we needed him for the information, but there is no way in hell he's going to be stripped of his name or anything like that. He will be celebrated as a hero because of him killing the terrorist leader. If that was Carly, as fucked up as it would, because it would have been, because she's still a minor and whatnot, and us, the audience,
I would have rocked her motherfucker.
But I'm saying though, not saying that compared to the grunt, they would not have stripped him. At the very least, secretly, he would have still been Captain America.
You telling me if we in a battle with an enemy, right? And we all shooting our guns and fighting, I'm not gonna get stripped if I shoot the leader. But if I shoot another fool that's fighting me or shooting at me, I'm gonna get my title stripped.
But that's not what happened, though. You keep saying it like it happened. That's how it happened, and it wasn't. First thing,
Mike, appreciate you for tuning in.
Like that, you keep saying that's what happened, but it's not what happened, though.
Hold on, I appreciate you for tuning in.
It's what happened was that they were going really what they were supposed to do was not even engage with the flag smashers. They were supposed to capture them because they knew that if they killed any of the flag smashers outside of Carly, because I'm pretty sure they could have spun, then that would have hurt them pushing and signing the bill to the board
because it was live. That's the only reason he got in trouble.
Oh my god!
It didn't matter who he killed. If it was Carly, they would have stripped him for his title too. Just because he did it like that with the shield in front of all those people.
They would have not stripped him. You cannot sit here and tell me they would have stripped him for taking out the terrorist leader. That's cap. That's 100% cap. They're not gonna treat this man the same way. That's like saying, oh, if somebody got Osama like that, killed Osama, then, when after they were chasing
they killed Osama's peoples too, right?
I'm saying though, but you're trying to make it seem like if there was an equivalent terrorist leader they got killed, that they wouldn't have treated him. They would have treated him.
I'm saying if he would have killed anybody right there like he did, he was gonna get his title stripped. No, Carly wasn't gonna be. Oh, he killed Carly. They was all flags.
It was because it was somebody deemed that it was unnecessary, and it was.
Oh, what about the dude that stopped him at the plane? They wet his ass up and he ain't had not a weapon on him.
What do you mean? He literally created a flame shield. Some explosion.
He knocked down the pole in front of them. And he didn't knock it on them. He knocked it down in front of them
and walked up
and with no weapon.
He literally did that to be threatening so they wouldn't take out the plane.
Threatening and
do you not know that in those situations that's an exception? That if somebody do you not
knock down a light pole?
Quentin, how many people regularly can knock down a light pole?
What I'm saying though, that's just like saying about the throw a trash. Okay, so if I throw a trash can in front of them trying to distract and threaten them, that gives them the right to wet me up.
I mean, that they can, Quentin. We've seen that happen though.
I've never seen nobody.
I'm saying we've seen the equivalent of folks rushing towards a police officer with something that a black.
He didn't have nothing.
He knocked down something a normal person's not supposed to knock down.
Okay, what that mean?
What that mean, Quentin? Really, dog? Dog?
Okay, so
that flags. Before you say that flag smasher, he ain't do shit on camera that made folks think, Oh,
all of them have superhuman strength. What are you talking about?
But again,
you just brought up that he had superhuman strength. That's the reason he was threatening. And you talking about now a flag smasher that wasn't threatening, but he got superhuman strength.
But he didn't.
So he threatened it anyway. All of them got superhuman strength.
What did he do that was threatening?
Fighting.
You keep saying that. You keep saying he fought somebody.
So they weren't fighting.
Some of them were. I don't even.
All of them were.
I don't even think it was him specifically.
So now he was just off to the back watching. Anyway, let's move on.
But you really trying to sit here and say, oh, somebody doing some superhuman stuff to some government agents. That's not them folks just supposed to stand there and not do something. That's just normal stuff. Like is that what you saying? I'm dead ass serious. If is that what you trying to justify this? If you see somebody with superpowers knock down something that a normal person ain't supposed to knock down in your general direction, you're supposed to hold on. You're not supposed to be scared of nothing. And they walking towards you.
They got guns, right?
So what did they do with the guns?
So John Walker wasn't justifying what he did.
Quentin, the flag smasher
was fighting.
The flag smasher was running away from him.
So
why would he run away from him if he knew he could overpower him? So now it's so for that, but it's not so for the other thing.
He committed a crime.
It's so for that, but it's not so for the other one that they got.
No, I'm saying that you brought it up like it was different.
No, I didn't. I didn't bring it up. I said that what I said was one was running away, the other one was actively
knocking down a pole. He wasn't fighting him. He didn't raise a fist to them.
No, stop saying he knocking down a pole. he knocked down something that somebody normally is not supposed to knock down.
Why do you think? Appreciate it, Mike. We both have valid points. With that being said, let's just move on. Because we don't talk about John Walker.
Because you trying to sit here
and
and say that knocking down that girder. Stop saying it was a pole. That was like one of them.
It was a telephone pole. It literally was.
So if I go outside and just knock that down, that's normal.
Anyway, so QMG, were you a fan of Falcon and Winter Soldier before we move on? Because we got more ranting to do. Because it's a lot now.
Because you just messed
something that we're going to agree on.
Because you just messed it up talking about some. You just messed it up real deal trying to go. Oh, I can go down there and knock that. If the police come in our neighborhood and I knock that junk down, they supposed to just hold on there, son.
We'll get back to John Walker. We'll get back to him, okay?
It's
just for you.
It's okay that you like him, but he's not a hero, dog. It's okay.
Thank you to Into the Quniverse for bringing you guys this awesome ranting and raving.
It's okay that you like him, but he's not a hero.
He's a hero. But with that being said, we have something that we both agree on because Mortal Kombat came out Friday. And might I say, I was very, very disappointed. And me and QMG were one of the hypest people for this movie. And not only did it disappoint me, but as the more I talk about it, the more disappointing it becomes. The more I'm like, what the for shizzle dizzle, big Snoop Izzle. So QMG, before I go off on my super tangent, I would like for you to tell the geeks and gamers out there just a brief synopsis of how Mortal Kombat came to be. And before we get into what you think about it, just talk to them about how it came to be and some of the things Warner Brothers have been doing lately, as of late, that has maybe attributed to why this movie is the way that it is.
Okay, so I'm just going to condense all of those points because talking about them individually would be too long.
Yeah.
But basically, this movie is not a... I don't want to say, even after talking about it, I still don't want to say it's a bad movie. And I definitely do not think it's a worse movie than Mortal Kombat Annihilation. But I would be lying to you if I said that if you are familiar with Mortal Kombat in a more than passing sense, a lot of stuff will not sit right with you. And it's just not something I would be nice. You know, I would be lying if I said it was this great movie. It is a... I made no sound for this. I'm trying to... I don't want it to make... I don't want people to get the wrong idea that I'm going to be jokey when I'm about to say this. So, no, this movie is not... This movie just doesn't make any sense, and not from a story perspective, because it does make sense for Mortal Kombat, but how it goes about telling the story just doesn't make sense. It does, and like the explanations that they give just sounds like a bunch of lip service. And then when you start thinking about it, it just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up, and it doesn't feel authentic. You just feel when you feel like they're lying to you, or they're just came up with it on the fly to hide from the fact that they don't really know multiple things in this movie, and it's just not compelling. It's almost like y'all know them. Y'all remember when McDonald's used to have them VHSs that'd be like promoting the food and the characters.
Hey, the Ronald McDonald movies was fire.
Were they?
Yeah. We used to watch the mess out of them joints.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that it necessarily was good. It just meant we watched it because that's the only thing we had. But, you know, sure, they made a cartoon out of it. And yeah, people worked hard on it. But what were they really trying to do with it? You know? And with this movie, you know, if you want to watch an action movie that has cool fight scenes and great effects, you know, I say just wait until all this stuff come out on YouTube.
Just to watch all the fight scenes.
Yeah, because you're not missing anything in the dialogue department.
Yeah.
And anything like that. And definitely not in the set department. But yeah, it just doesn't feel like they set out to make a movie, but just rather a thing with recognizable things that do not mesh well at all. You know, I'm going to be honest. While the actors look the part, they do not have material. And I think I need to be specific because I'm not saying by any stretch that any of these actors are bad, because they are not. These actors have been in a lot of great stuff, and they've been great in a lot of great stuff. But the material that they have had in this film is not good. Simon McQuaid, the director, this was his first feature film. And Greg Russo has not really written too much that I'm knowledgeable about or familiar with in general. And it shows, because a lot of this stuff seems like they ran to YouTube or a Wikipedia page to see if it visually looked correct, but they failed to find out if it structurally worked. If that makes any sense. We're not going to get into deep spoilers because we don't know how many people have seen it or not. We're not going to say who lives and who dies or anything like that. But I'll try to paint as much of a picture as I can. But there are things in the movie that they try to make you go, wow, it's this thing. But it's so unauthentic that it just doesn't fit. It doesn't matter that it's done that way. You know, there's certain events and characters that are showcased, but if you don't, you know, if you don't know, you're not gonna care. And if you do know, you're gonna be asking why it looks this way. And considering how they try to fit it into the story as if it's important right now and not later, it's kind of necessary for that to land, and it doesn't. The dialogue, man, I don't care what no one says about, because this is a Mortal Kombat movie, so it's not supposed to have good dialogue. If y'all played at the very least, the last three more.
Well, even with that being said, though, it's a movie.
Yeah,
so shouldn't it have good dialogue? Because that is the thing you're looking for when you are adapting it into a movie, is to flesh it out more than what a video game can do, right?
Because like I was about to say, you know, if you've played any of the last three Mortal Kombat games, just those three, we're not even going to speak on how well the Injustice games are written, but just the last three Mortal Kombat games, you know, they have good writing. The dialogue between the characters are good, and it is compelling. It's entertaining to watch. Not in this movie. And I think that's where a lot of my personal critique come from with this movie, is that there is no reason for this movie to be bad. For a franchise like Mortal Kombat, that unlike other fighting games or video games, really, it's very easy to translate. You know how certain characters act, speak, and think. You know what type of fighting is expected in these games. And if you're going to translate into a movie, it's even easier. And you know what type of story you can want to tell, or what type of changes you can make, because the Mortal Kombat universe is open to changes. It's open to, you know, having stuff not be copy and paste. It encourages it even. So it being a different adaptation is not what sinks it. It's how lazily they attempt to do it. It's if I can sum it up in like in a one statement, it overthinks it overthinks everything, and as a result, it comes off as faux fan service. It doesn't come off as sincere. It doesn't come off as if they were working to make it work. It just seems like they were like, okay, let's just go to YouTube. Let's just take a bunch of stuff people like, and let's just dump it into this movie. It feels like, as my homie Aaron, who's a screenwriter, would say, it's a first draft film, meaning that they just wrote one draft for the script and went with that. And maybe on the fly made some changes, or editing wise made some changes, but they still just only use that one draft of the script, because a lot of stuff just does not work from a script level.
Is it my turn? Is it my put the camera on me? Put the camera on me. Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Because I like that that was a great synopsis. I definitely enjoy your positive outlook.
No, this wasn't positive. I
I'm lackadaisical, not going in on them like I'm about to.
No, I was just trying to make sure that, because we can't talk about spoilers. I just wanted to make sure, even though my dad said it was good, I just wanted to make sure people understood that, some of the major critiques, and again, this is something that you might not care about because it's specific to your knowledge of Mortal Kombat.
Definitely.
If you're going in, if you just want to watch a movie, then the fighting and effects can very much carry you all the way through it, and that's not an issue. But if you are actually looking for this to be a film that you want to have sequels and continue it, I would be lying if I told you that then we need to do a complete from the ground up restructuring of director, writer, producer, and all of that stuff to people who would actually want to interact with the people who made the video games. Because y'all, if you don't follow them on social media, nobody who works on the current games or past, were consulted with making this movie, and it shows hand and foot.
So with that being said, thank you, QMG, for your input. Mm-hmm. But now the bad joke has entered the room, because a movie that I was very hyped for, a movie that I championed for, a movie that I was very excited for, Mortal Kombat, did not live up to any of the hype or any of the expectations that I had set. First, let me talk to you guys about from a movie standpoint. From a movie standpoint, out of a 10, I gave it a 6.
Same.
I thought it was just a decent movie. It was nothing spectacular, nothing that blew me away. It was nothing I have never seen before. It was okay. I thought it was all right. I would liked a couple more things. I thought it was somewhat rushed. I thought some of the set pieces were bland and boring.
Completely bland. Yeah, no, the set pieces were awful. They were really, really, really bad, which is a sin considering how many iconic places are in the Mortal Kombat universe specifically. And it doesn't even have, we're not even going to talk about any other realms, just specifically how Earthrealm has.
No, I definitely got to talk about Outworld, because people don't even know what Outworld is. For anybody who's doesn't know about the Mortal Kombat lore, they don't even know what Outworld is. They think it's a desert. So I'm definitely going to touch on that. But Mike, definitely, like I was telling QMG when I had watched the movie, I kind of felt bad, because as a person who tries to keep it 100 about these movies and what I think about them, I didn't like the movie that much as far as being a Mortal Kombat fan. And I felt like I didn't want to be that person who downs the movie and then the people start to down it too, and it doesn't get a sequel, because I definitely can see potential in the actors. I'm not going to say I see potential in this specific storyline. Maybe they can upgrade and change a couple things, retcon a couple things, but I definitely can see the potential with these characters and this iteration. But back to the movie, I was very, very much disappointed. I was very disappointed. I was in the movie. When I got done watching the movie, I had to hit him with this. But yeah, James, I definitely think that it was not Dragon Ball Evolution horrible by any means, because the action was great.
Yeah,
the action was really good.
It wasn't like it was it's like we got to make it clear. A lot of our critiques and gripes
are being Mortal Kombat lore.
It's from a lore perspective and not from a, now don't get us wrong. Like if there was one aspect that was absolutely from a filmmaking perspective that was atrocious,
it was rushed.
It was the script. And it was rushed, and how, the way the script was just so badly written. These actors, with the exception of Kano, but then again, Kano was definitely somebody that did not have to, like, a lot of his dialogue was not on paper. He had free reign to riff. And so he didn't have that problem, but everyone else had to read from paper, and it shows how poorly that
you could tell Kano had the green light on all of his scenes.
Yes,
you could tell he had full range to improvise. But no, D-Man was talking about what do we mean rushed? By rushed, we don't necessarily mean what they edited and put out. We're talking about just how the movie
flows. The movie flow was rushed. It was it did not have time to breathe. They just quickly moved from one place to another. That not the distribution, they rushed it to theaters. The movie and the editing felt rushed.
Like one of the most egregious moments for me was, like I was telling everybody, is the scene when Cole Young, they're in the void, and he's explaining how to defeat each of the villains Shang Tsung has, but it's like they're going to each while he's talking, and they're rushing each of those fights. I think that was the most egregious moment, because I think all those fights deserve to have their own moment. But that was probably the one that really stuck out to me the most. QMG, what was the scene that seemed very rushed to you?
I mean, I say the same. I gotta say that that was the same, and I'll also throw this one in there. I do think that the scene a little bit before that, I want to say when they were training, I do think that they did not really emphasize the training montage to show any real growth.
Definitely.
It felt real. I don't know. It's hard for me to really get into it where I won't just dive into lore and then confuse people. And not necessarily
definitely confusing if you go
not necessarily confused. And let me say the correct term. More like bore them with stuff that they're not really, that wouldn't
definitely. And that's what we were saying. If you're just going into the movie, just hear that it's a movie where guys fight to the death and stuff like that, and you're not really, like, you haven't played Mortal Kombat since like 2, 3, 4, even 9, maybe, you'll be a fan of this movie from more parts. Like, if you're not really deep in this,
well, I'll say that I wouldn't put it that.
And your dad said it was better than the first 2 movies. I would argue that it's not better than 1.
It's not. It's definitely, but not. It's definitely better than MK Annihilation, because MK Annihilation is just legitimately a terrible.
But
film.
We did talk about some of the.
I have to say that was giving the movie too much credit. All MK Annihilation did better than 2021 was have more characters that look accurate.
Definitely.
Their implementation was
was
much worse than MK 2020.
How does Sindel say it? Come on.
Yeah, y'all already know the line, y'all. I'm not finna too bad you. Like, it's
you will die.
But yeah, it definitely MK Annihilation is just legitimately a terrible film that, while having costume accurate,
definitely
their shafting is much more egregious than some of the characters that got shafted in 2021. But I will say that, it's not nowhere near close to 95, which is both a shame and a complete and total failure, that a movie that came out 26 years ago, despite not having the best effects and despite not having the most accurate fatalities, is still a better overall film.
That's another thing. I thought the fatalities were Kung Lao definitely had the best fatality to me. Obviously you like the Jack's fatality. I thought it was pretty bland and lame, especially when General Rico was looking like a derpy ass googly eyed character. All that. I thought it was very poorly done. I thought Goro going out like a bitch was whack. Goro definitely went out like a real bitch. I didn't like that. James, definitely, I definitely feel like some of these characters have to be built up better to have a great franchise. And speaking of those characters being built up, another abhorrent moment was the whole Cole Young arc for me.
Well, we don't want to get too far into it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm not going to spoil it all, but Cole Young's arc was horrid. Like we could talk about this, everybody. Family arc was unnecessary. And I've never seen a major character with a worse ending costume ever in my life. Even Goku's costume, he had the freaking Goku gi. Like, this guy literally had this metal body armor with some sweats. How do you and these tonfas, like it sounds whack, but Kung Lao for one, they were never gonna do Scorpion and Sub-Zero wrong. They were gonna play it very close to the vest, keep the story literally the same, because they knew if they mess up Scorpion and Sub-Zero, people were gonna riot in the streets. So they played that exactly how I knew they were gonna play it.
And that's also shows one of the why I keep going back to faux fan service, because a franchise like Mortal Kombat, they don't just want Sub-Zero and Scorpion to be done justice, because they know they feel like that's a given, that's a gimme. They know you're going to do that. You would have to do it right for it to be considered a success. So how are you going to do Kung Lao? How are you going to do Liu Kang, Sonya, Jax, etc., etc.? And the fact that was not done, the fact that they chose Kano of all characters to give that sort of free reign to be as accurate as possible, but not anyone else, that just again goes back to my faux fan service. It's not actual fan service. It's not actually trying to make it authentic. It's just giving the illusion of authenticity. And, when you actually think about it, you don't get any of it. Like, you go, that didn't make sense. That wasn't good. That was overthinking some concepts. And that's where it's like, again, basically what we're saying is, don't be cursed to know Mortal Kombat, because if you do, you're going to be asking these questions, and it's going to take away your enjoyment for this film.
And I'm going to sit here and say, yeah, oh yeah, the animated Scorpion movie, that was awesome. That was awesome. The Johnny Cage one was good too. That's the same one, Legend of Scorpion. That's the one with Johnny
Scorpion's Revenge.
Yeah, that's the one. Johnny Cage was in there too. That jump was awesome. That jump was really good. Speaking of Johnny Cage, I've already said on my 2 podcasts.
No, we can't. That's a major spoiler, so we can't even talk about that.
I agree with you. We're going to save that for next week, because we always give y'all a week. We always give y'all a week of non-spoilers, and then we come back and we give you the spoiler version. But yeah, so let me just go ahead and get into it, because I didn't get to go in like I wanted to. I left the movie mad, bad. Danita, appreciate you for tuning in. You came in at the right time. We're talking about Mortal Kombat. Dre, appreciate you for tuning in. We're talking about Mortal Kombat. And let me just let y'all know, I didn't like it to the extent, as being a Mortal Kombat, true diehard Mortal Kombat fan, I didn't like it. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, they were going to keep it the same. They were going to keep them the way they were. Liu Kang, I thought he was horrible, terrible, trash. I thought the acting was done badly, even though I like Ludi Lin. I'm sorry. I like Ludi Liu. I thought I think he's a great actor. I just think him as Liu Kang was bad. It wasn't good to me personally. I didn't like how Liu Kang was portrayed. Kung Lao had more swag than Liu Kang. That's usually not the case. In most games, Kung Lao is the more sturdy, stern one, and Liu Kang has a little bit more flair to him. I thought Jax and Sonya's arc was kind of... Oh, appreciate you, James. Thanks, bro. I thought Jax and Sonya were kind of downplayed. They weren't even working with the military. They were like some freelance PMC, private military people, and I thought that was dumb.
Or at least that was the feel that you got from it.
Yeah, definitely. Like I was telling QMG, something's kind of off when Kano stole the show. Like, Kano literally is the reason I'm giving this movie a 6. Kano was like you could tell, like we've said before, he had the green light. He was doing amazingly.
And not to cut you off, but
No,
it didn't even feel like anyone else had the capacity to steal the show. It was almost felt like it was designed for Kano.
Man, what you said
to do. It wasn't. It was like it was like the script was designed. Even when certain characters come like, and not to say that the acting was cardboard cut out or dry, because it wasn't. You definitely saw the blueprints for personality for these characters, but it was clear that their personality was from the script, and Kano's was from being able to riff freely and not follow a script if necessary.
Definitely when Kane, but and don't get us wrong, Kano was good in the movie. It wasn't like they were just giving him lines, and he was definitely that, but it wasn't that he was one of those transcendent. It was almost like the character that should have been in the movie is just he made the movie better than what it was. Like all of his lines were normal lines for that douchebaggy character. It's just that coming in a movie that's already lackluster. Yeah, Kano was definitely the standout, Mike. That Kano did a really good job. Hopefully, because Mortal Kombat, no one really stays there. Hopefully, there's a way to Kano to come back. And maybe getting stabbed in the eye, he gets his cybernetic prosthetic. That might be one thing. But yeah, Kano was definitely the standout. Cole Young was just like horrible. The movie was feeling rushed. The pacing was very rushed. Like I said, the scene. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we got the new setup. You know how we getting down. Got the new setup. They need appreciate it. But QMG, I know you and the Multiversity crew have had some strong opinions about this movie, and like I said, one of my biggest things was Outworld was not fleshed out, and I don't think that's a spoiler because they do show Outworld, but we didn't get a fleshing out of Outworld. And for people who don't know what Outworld is, like people watching the movie, I'm pretty sure they still don't know what Outworld is. I asked Kimberly when we got done watching it. I was like,
basically, even though you're not really supposed to know or see Outworld, just like because Outworld's a more of a Mortal Kombat 2 concept in place, because everything takes place generally takes place in just Earthrealm in the first movie, in the first Mortal Kombat. Outworld is essentially where the villains of the first half of the Mortal Kombat story exist, and it is supposed to be visually more distinct than Earthrealm. It's supposed to like really sell just how massive of a concept Mortal Kombat is. And basically all we saw was a desert. It was a just a barren desert with a couple of nondescript slave like people. And again, just to go back to that faux fan service, rather than showing us Shang Tsung's island, which is generally where where all of this stuff takes place and whatnot, which has a lot of character, which, these locations are just as big as characters as the combatants with the K.
Exactly.
He was just reduced to being on Outworld sitting on a cliff. Exactly. That looked boring. Goro, he wasn't even, in his lair. He was just walks through a big ass door, and that's about it. So, the fact that they chose to go in that direction, when in comparison to the 95 movie, when they introduced Outworld, when Johnny Cage and Liu Kang have to go, great part, like when they had to go and save Sonya, and they go through the portal, you see this gothic Lord of the Rings area that's supposed to represent Outworld and how vastly different it is. And again, a movie from 95,
fleshes out world better than the 2021 movie. Not just
fleshes it out, but fleshes it out in such little time. At the little end of the film, you get a better idea for what Outworld is in comparison to the 2021 film, where maybe they go back to Outworld, or maybe we don't even know if that is Outworld. It's again, it doesn't seem like it was purposefully done to be fans. Or
Dave, appreciate you for tuning in.
It didn't feel like they were doing it, it didn't feel like they really knew what it was. It just felt like they wanted to put it in to make people think so.
Goro D-Man, Goro went out like a whole bitch. How you let a guy who just got his powers 2 weeks ago be Goro? And it wasn't even 2 weeks ago. It was 20 minutes ago into the movie after the end. But we're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. But no, but other than that, would you watch it again, QMG? Would you give it another watch? Is this something because you are a fan of watching movies multiple times?
No, I am a fan of watching things I like multiple times.
Let's get it again.
I don't watch things that I know definitively I do not like.
In the comments, geeks and gamers, let me know what y'all give Mortal Kombat out of a 10. Like I said, I gave it a 6. There was a couple reasons that I gave it a 6, but and this is my movie review of my movie rating, as my Mortal Kombat fan movie rating, I'm giving it a 4. So
I give both of them still a 6 because that puts it above MK Annihilation.
What'd you give them Annihilation?
That is
well, I have a soft spot in my heart for Annihilation,
and I thought I did too until I rewatched it as an adult and realized that those were all lies.
You're really not supposed to do that. You know how they say never grow up and see your heroes or your idols?
No, you're supposed to watch your childhood films because 9 times out of 10 your childhood films still resonate. There's
6.5. Okay.
There's never an instance I've seen where someone watches a childhood movie that they really, really loved and not still love it. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah, because Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, I ended up going back and watching them, and they're critically panned in the world. They're still good to me. I like them.
Well, for me, Mortal Kombat Annihilation is a 0. It's flat out 0.
Whoa,
it is. And
okay, so then you could give it a 4. The new Mortal, because if it's a 0, that means you could give this one a 4.
No,
if it's truly a 4, because you're saying you wasn't giving it a 4 because that would be giving Annihilation too much. So I was thinking, Annihilation was
putting it too closer to 0. it's
like we on a wild goose chase or something.
Yeah, no. This movie is a 6 in both regards, both from a critical and a fan perspective.
Yeah,
I just can't get over how it just never seemed like they were doing stuff because fans wanted it, but doing it to make them think that they were just as big as fans as the fans. It just really came off as lying on your resume.
Yeah,
so you can get a job.
Vaughn, appreciate you for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, Vaughn.
I just came up with another thing, another quick blurb about this movie. Yeah, no, this movie is the equivalent to lying on your resume to get a job. You lie and say you're a Mortal Kombat fan, and you do everything in your power to show otherwise.
I have to talk about some of the good things, some of the things that I liked.
We did
Sonya,
the punching and the kicking.
Definitely the punching. I definitely like the fight scene between Kano and Sonya.
Let's not get too crazy in trying to make this movie seem.
Oh no, but I can still talk about things that I thought were good. The fight scene between Kano and Sonya, I enjoyed it. The fights obviously between Bihan and Hanzo, Scorpion and Sub-Zero, both of them, the beginning one and the end one, were really good. I definitely liked. Everybody knows Jax loses his arm. It was in the trailer. Sub-Zero, how he dismantled Jackson and took his arms. I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, there was nothing really that can be redeeming for this movie for me. I thought Liu Kang's was horrible. I thought his portrayal was abhorrent.
Just watch the clips on YouTube. They're on a streaming service, so I guarantee you people already have that 1080p 60 frames clips on YouTube, y'all.
Bobby Shu from back in the day, from 95. That is my Liu Kang. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about Reptile, but he wasn't Reptile.
That wasn't Reptile.
That was his race. Somebody from his race.
They make sure that it go back in ADR and make sure that was not. Yeah, that they did not say the words reptile or Zaterran. They made sure that.
I think they did say Zaterran.
I made sure I was
did say Zaterran.
I was specifically listening out because I was going to get on the movie.
So what did he say? Because he said someone
he said
the Zaterran. I thought he said that.
He said some race. It wasn't Zaterran. I will give them credit. Unless this is some Ultra Mandela effect, because actually no one else confirmed that like everyone else has been saying that they didn't hear Zaterran as well.
I could have sworn I thought
they went back and for the ADR, for those who don't know what that is, that's going when you go back to a movie and you dub over dialogue that may not have worked in the film from the director's perspective, and you go back and add dialogue. They made sure to add dialogue to specify that was not Reptile, because they fucking knew that was going to not go over well. If that
would you prefer a reptilian reptile, or would you prefer a humanoid reptile?
Look,
which one would you want?
Look. I'm gonna be honest with you.
And the geeks and gamers, let us know in the comment. Do y'all like a lizard style reptile, or do y'all want a humanoid lizard man?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
What's up?
Reptile should look physically. He should be a man, but
Really?
look like a lizard.
Okay, so explain it. Like have
like
the lizard scales, but have a humanoid face.
Yes, he should be a body. He should have a lizard body. He should not a lizard body. He should have a human. He should be have a human body like I do. But he should have scales. He should have little reptilian talons and have a lizard face. Because no, I don't. I feel like while it's iconic that the classic reptile was a human, was a ninja, I do feel like one of the things that folks just gonna have to suck up and accept is that the further Mortal Kombat goes into goes with their story and treats it, they have to look, you can be creative.
So MKX reptile.
Yes. MKX, MK9 reptile. If you wanna tone it back some, have at it. But don't have him look like Kurt Connors,
a big lizard.
No, don't do that.
That's that deception version.
Like no, that's the
crab or
the Deadly Alliance Armageddon.
The crab.
No, that's a no. That's a no. That's a no. That's lame. That's lame.
Oh, you want the 92, the regular ninja reptile, the straight ninja reptile core? Yeah, I would say. I could agree with you. I think I'll go with the
and I'm not against old school, just flat out ninja reptile, but I do think that for this, I do think it doesn't hurt to have him be a humanoid reptilian, but just don't go overboard. Don't make him, like I said, like he's uppercutting Scorpion at 9 and then fighting Spider-Man at 10.
No lizard. We don't want no more super lizards. We just want a humanoid lizard man.
Right.
But yeah, so Mortal Kombat for me, it was a flop. But like I said, like me and QMG saying, we even though we don't have the best movie, this movie didn't do the best for us. We definitely wanted to get a sequel because we see potential, and sometimes seeing potential is what matters. The show one from Shaolin War, yeah, that reptile was fire. Facts, big facts.
I don't see like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it. Like these actors are not at fault. It's not their fault. They tried their best, and some had more room to do their best, but all of them definitely tried their best. But it needs to be a complete overhaul from a structural level of creative, and most importantly, you need to have the co-creators or current creators of Mortal Kombat on the next film.
Facts. So QMG, if you could put any character into the movie that wasn't in there, because it ain't no spoiler, we know all the characters that are in there. There was no special characters except maybe one. Who would you have put in the movie without any spoilers? Who would you have put in the movie?
Well, I can't answer that because the one character I would have put in there is a massive spoiler. So,
so that is the character. Well, if I had to say a character, I think they could have did Kentaro. I would like to see Kentaro.
Because Kentaro should definitely be the second. Because I that's cool that I disagree, but I'm not saying you're wrong. But I do think Kentaro should always be number 2 because it goes from man, we kicked Goro's ass and that was so hard. Oh my god, it's Kentaro. Another. Yes, so like putting all of the goddamn Shokans in it kind of would take the sting from the other ones.
Mike was saying Cyrax, which obviously my next vote would be Cyrax or Sector because they
would have to be humans. They can't be robots because the robots
they would have to be their human version first.
Yeah, because that wouldn't make because you have to
no Cyber Lin Kuei initiative.
You have to build to that. Like you can't just throw the robots because the whole
even though it was fire and Annihilation, even though people didn't like Annihilation, but Cyrax and Sector was lit. That scene was lit,
but we don't count those because I'm saying if you're trying to make a good Mortal Kombat story, you have to build up to that because the failures of the Sub-Zeros, or at the very least Bihan, is what galvanized the Lin Kuei Grandmaster to do cyber initiatives because they're soulless killing machines. They don't have, can't be manipulated by outside forces. They can be the ultimate killing machine. So you have to show Cyrax and Sector as humans, maybe Bihan's, comrades, and then in number 2, they can allude to it, and then in number 3, have them folks be
Big Money. Appreciate you tuning in, bro.
Have them folks be robots and shit.
Facts, definitely. But I definitely think Cyrax and Sector are definitely some fan favorites that I'm pretty sure a lot of people, as far as on the villain side, people wanted to see. In Kentaro or Shiva. It could have been Kentaro or Shiva. I thought it would have been pretty cool to see. Obviously they did Goro. Another character everybody wanted to see meet.
No.
No one wants.
Okay, so you're just jumping. So thank y'all for coming on out tonight.
But yeah, before we give our outage, we definitely want you guys to go ahead on Into the Quniverse on YouTube and subscribe. Go ahead and get some subscribers up. We can do more with our videos. I know y'all
share them as well. Share it as well. Hit the notify button when you subscribe so you know exactly when any videos from Into the Quniverse go
because we're going to be doing a lot more than just podcasts. Now that we have our ultimate setup now, we have a lot more time to do more things, and we definitely want to have y'all tuned in for all that. So Into the Quniverse on YouTube. If you can't find it, I would definitely send a link out. And y'all can go on my page, on my multiple pages, and click on the link so you can subscribe to us on YouTube. But yeah, QMG. So Mortal Kombat was a 6 for you.
Yes.
And for me, it was a 6. In Mortal Kombat mind, it was a 4. But yeah, we just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we're back. Marcus, appreciate you for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I definitely, and y'all can go back and watch this and comment, because I go back and watch it and I could catch y'all comments. Tell me what y'all thought about Mortal Kombat. Did you like it? Love it? Hate it? But before we get up out of here, we have to talk about, since we talked about WandaVision, we talked about Falcon, we have to talk about the upcoming Marvel Cinematic Universe television show, which is Loki, which comes out in June.
I'm just not gonna hold you up. I don't care about that show. So
whoa, even though it's gonna be like some type of Doctor Who-esque,
I do not care about that
Tom
show.
Hiddleston.
I do not care about Loki. I'm ready.
Okay, can you explain why?
No, it's not that serious. I just don't.
Let's go!
It just does nothing about it.
He is turned up, even when he had the knives out.
I'm not even. It's not even a discourse. Loki has never interested me to a degree of any sort of fan service or anything like that. I felt that same way about Sam Wilson, and he changed my whole perception of Anthony Mackie playing this character. Yeah, but the difference is, one, the all black writer room would have saw to that changing your mind, because they were going to do things that resonate, whereas folks only going to do the 1B to the one note Loki has. I don't care what no one says. And and I just don't. I don't care. We gonna have to get to Invincible next week.
We got a little. I think we need to put a little time in for it, because I don't want to spoil nothing. I just want to say from what I've seen, it's very interesting.
That's why we got to say, because the season finale is next week.
Oh, it's only 8 episodes.
Yeah, so we got to come next week and we can talk about it. I know what I got.
I'm hurt.
I know it. That's why you need to get.
Oh yeah, definitely D-Man. We definitely wanted to see Baraka. Baraka would have been cool. He said Stryker. I don't know how many people are fans of Stryker. I've never been a fan of Stryker.
Them MK3 characters need to be in an MK3 segment. Them folks do not have to be in the first movie. Y'all just throwing them names out.
Baraka's great.
Baraka is. I'm not talking about Baraka. I'm talking about all these MK3
names. Folks don't like, you don't mess with Stryker, bro.
No.
D-Man, you don't mess with Stryker. But yeah, we definitely gonna get into a full thing of Invincible. Now, D-Man, you also know, for everybody that's tuning in, you know I gotta plug my other podcast, where Keep It G, where D-Man, me, myself, and Danita, we keep our eyes and ears every week on everything geek. So y'all tune into that. We definitely will be talking about Invincible, and that happens every Monday at 7:40 Central Time. So you guys tune into that. It'll also be on the Into the Quniverse page, as well as on each of the Facebook pages as well. So definitely tune into that. We will be talking about Invincible. I'm finna go ahead and watch the new episode tonight, not the last one that just happened, episode 7 tonight. So y'all definitely be ready for that. But yeah, QMG, Into the Quniverse has been a great episode. John Walker is that nigga. Facts.
No.
But before we get on up out of here, is there any thing that you needed to say before we got on down? Is there anything you wanted to plug for more diversity or anything like that?
We have an episode this week on Wednesday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. You know how we get down. And Mold Diversity Gaming, as always, every weekend. We have something in the works. We hope we can execute. If not, we'll probably just be playing Mario Kart, but hopefully we can go ahead and get it done this weekend. And yeah, that's about it. Make sure you're subscribed to Mold Diversity, and you know when we go live because you hit that notify bell, and you follow Mold Diversity Gaming on Twitch.
Facts. Well, thank y'all for tuning in. You already know we got to turn up a little bit. This was Into the Quniverse, where we talk to you guys about everything
and
geeky,
buy our merch on
gaming,
Teespring
and nerdy.
Well. Buy our merch on Teespring as well.
I'm gonna have my hoodie on next week. QMG, thanks for the great episode. You already know we GQ smooth, always on our P's and Q's, and you already know how we do because this is Into the Quniverse, where we always stay geek, baby. Peace out.
Yeah.